Hello and welcome to the JBS show and another edition of the Pinball Roundtable with my cohorts, Cale Hernandez and Retro Ralph. We've got a lot to talk about, and let's get going. How are you, gents?
Good.
Top of the world.
Yeah.
I just had my teeth professionally cleaned. Do you guys do that?
No.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Freaking awesome. I got all good marks.
Good. You know, I can't stand when they stick that thing up there and they go 5, 4.
Oh, that pisses me off. And when the numbers are
Pisses
low,
me
I
off,
get
and the
pissed.
numbers
'Cause
go
the low
up.
numbers are bad, right?
Yeah.
See, I don't know what's
Piss
going
me
on,
off.
so I don't care. I don't know. Do you want high numbers? Do you want low numbers?
I think you want them high, but it's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you
They
want
make
them
you
high.
feel like,
Make you feel
yeah,
like
this
a
one's a
piece
2.
of crap right off the bat.
This guy's
Yeah.
This
This guy's not flossing. He's not flossing.
This guy definitely
Dude, I
doesn't floss.
floss. So check this out. Twice a day, I floss and then do the water pick and then brush.
Wow.
Twice a day.
So
Dude.
you have OCD or something with your teeth.
No, I don't have that at all. I just don't want, I don't want issues. I got good looking teeth.
You see him? He does have good choppers. He does. So that's nice. Well, I'm glad everything went well and no 2s and 1s. So congrats.
Yeah, good
Congrats
job.
on
Good
that.
job, Cale.
Way to go, Cale. We have to talk about Harry Potter, and
Yes.
it's vitally important. Now, today is Ralph's show, okay? These are Ralph's topics. I'm just steering the bus, okay?
Yeah, just steering the ship.
But
man.
we really need to talk about it, Cale, because I don't know about you, but I'm pissed at the dude, okay?
Okay.
I'm a little fired up at Ralph because we've known he's been doing the featurette for Harry Potter. We know he's seen it. He's going to
Yeah.
go do all these great things, and he doesn't tell us a damn thing.
It's amazing. And we tried.
Oh my, yeah.
Like,
You guys
Ralph-
didn't try that. You did, but I was pretty good. I was like steel trap. I wasn't telling you anything.
Yeah. But we also knew, like, we can't pressure Ralph.
Where do we want to start?
The featurette you did, man, that is top shelf.
It is.
Very, very well done. Except one thing I did mention to you:
no.
Oh
the
no.
keys in the back box.
I can tell you why. I can tell you why that happened. Okay, so this is actually a good moment, right? No, but thank you for also letting Kaneda know that, because he busted my balls for like 10 hours, so that was good. I was cool with you doing it, but then of course he
Right.
brings it up.
Yeah.
So but anyway, so Ken grabs the capture card, and I had captured all the video footage, and that I don't know why that. It was like that last shot of the cabinet, and it had the keys in it. And I'm like, shit. And then we were watching the edit back, Mason and I, and I'm like, can you get rid of that? He's like, dude, it's like, I could try. And he was doing a bunch of this like generative AI stuff, or not generative. Like there's like a bunch of stuff in Adobe Premiere now where you can edit out stuff, and it just looked goofy. I'm like, screw it, just leave the keys in. I made that decision to leave the keys in, so that was my fault. I didn't like it, but I left it in.
You guys did see it before you released it.
Yeah, and I didn't. We just didn't have the same shot twice. That I only had one other shot that didn't have the keys for that shot we wanted to use, and it wasn't mine. It was so. I don't know if you guys realize they send this cabinet. So they sent the CE to a company in North Carolina. That his name is Alex. I can't remember his last name. He's really cool. So that trailer that you see, that's Alex out in North Carolina. So they shipped the same CE that we were working on to North Carolina to do that. And that company in North Carolina is the one that constructed that whole castle set.
Okay.
So Ken had asked, can we have the castle set? So I didn't know that castle set thing. I didn't know we were going to have that. I thought we were going to have to film in the factory floor, which
Right.
I wasn't that excited about, because I'm like, how do you make a factory floor look cool other than a factory floor? Like, that's just what it looks like. So when we showed up and saw the set, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, we get to film on the freaking set? Because the set's awesome. So, yeah, so that's how that all came together. And I think I had another point in there, but I don't remember what it was now. Sorry.
No, you did great.
Okay. I forgot what it was.
How did
Something.
you know, if you haven't watched the featurette, it's on YouTube, Retro Ralph's channel. Which channel?
Retro Ralph. Yeah.
Okay. I get confused with the Retro Ralph and the Retro Ralph Live.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But go check that. If you're living on a rock and you haven't watched this featurette, you're making a mistake. It's pretty awesome. But how did you write that script? Like, how did you deal with people? These are not professional people that can handle having a camera in front of their face all the time. I mean, Eric obviously was.
Eric was really easy because he's just, you could tell him, hey, talk about this for a minute, and he would do it. But I did have, so I have every section of the video was broken up into those sections, right? Like gameplay, art, music, sound, whatever. And then I just thought to myself, if I'm good, this was kind of hard because I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I need to get answers to somehow form this into some kind of story, then I have to ask these in some kind of coherent manner. Otherwise, when I piece it together, it's not going to make any sense, or it's going to be super hard for Mason in post because there's too many answers. So I kind of like, I studied the Avatar trailer, anything that Zach and Greg had ever done, straight down the middle, just to kind of see like how they structured it. I definitely structured it in a similar way, but the questions were tough because, yeah, it's like what questions do you want to ask the mechanical engineer? Those are probably going to be different questions than I'm going to ask the sound guy like David, right? So I don't know. It all kind of came together. I looked at them like a million times. I changed them a million times. There's only a couple of times where I had to go off script because like I love Joe Katz, but Joe, as soon as the camera turns on, like Joe could talk all day long about code, and then the camera comes on, and it's like he kind of locks up a little bit. Sorry, Joe, if you see this or watch this, but here's the thing: it was like he'd say something off camera. I'm like, Joe, you just nailed it. Like you just need to say that again. I'm like, pretend the camera's not on, Joe, and say that. And it was like, because Joe would say some crazy awesome stuff, but it was off camera, and I'm like, we can't use it because he was looking like the wrong way, or he was talking to me. Anyways, so Joe
doesn't
was
know what
probably,
to do with his hands. Does he just hold his hands like this?
Well, here's the thing. I felt bad for Joe for two reasons. Joe was actually like the one that was a little bit less comfortable in front of the camera, but then also it was during the peak hours of when they were doing like games on the line. They were finishing up avatars, so it was a nightmare. You'd hear boop, 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 and then like, oh,
Hold up. Now
and you're like, what the F? And I'm like, all right, Joe,
here's
cut.
the story. They're still building avatars?
They were finishing them. Yeah, they were finishing avatars. Yeah.
He gets me in trouble on my podcast. It's great.
I know, seriously. But yeah, so that was but no, everyone was great to work with. You know who was like probably the one that was obviously just like super easy was Eric, just because he could just go on. And that whole story about the book and his now wife but then girlfriend, that was a question I asked him, something about like some emotional connection to Harry Potter that like no one else would know about, that would be interesting in the relation to the game, and he told that story. It was like I think I said like, tell me a personal story that ties you to the Harry Potter universe or something like that. And everyone had like really good, everyone's answers were pretty good, but his was like the best. That story was actually a lot longer. We cut it down, but yeah, it was good. And then we also cut down like in the beginning in the intro when Eric at the end kind of gives this like kind of smirk. What he said was not actually what he said. It was something else. It was similar, but I loved the original what he said, but we had to cut that out. It was a little bit more like,
wasn't that about muted clips?
You know,
I thought that was like a stab at Canada.
It was about how loaded the game is, muted clips, and a picture of the bottom to make sure it's like really packed. That was what that was about.
Vital information.
And that was directed toward Canada. I mean, anybody that's paying attention, the way he looks at the screen, I mean, the camera. I mean, come on.
I just asked them, I said, hey guys, can I for $15,000, can you just put a DVD player inside the box that just plays the movie on the back? And I'll just buy that. That's what I want. Right. I don't even want it to play. I'm just going to have flippers.
That's what people really want. They don't want to play pinball. They just want to watch the movie in a smaller box.
I just want to watch the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, thank you, Ralph, for giving us even more behind the scenes. And I'm so glad it's damn done. Because I've had it. I had it with your constant calls of
I'm sorry. I was a pain in the ass. My wife is definitely glad it's done too, trust me.
God bless her.
She's like, because I would call the producer like daily. I'm like, hey, did you hear from WB? And then I'd go downstairs and be like, babe, what's gonna happen? What if they don't like the video? Do you think they're not gonna like it? Do you think they're not gonna air it at all? And she's like, why would they not air it? She's like, you're going crazy. You need to calm down.
Yeah.
So
he had panic attacks, but he did it. You know what? The results are in the pudding, brother. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And also Mason did such a good job with the edit. So props to Mason.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It really was awesome. Let's talk about the marketing of this game itself. little controversy. No media was invited, but I thought they did a good job by putting them out in the public at major distributors right off the bat. What do you guys think of that?
I don't even want to go to Cale first.
Yeah. Yeah. What is going on at Jersey Jack with the marketing? I mean, it is okay. So even before Harry Potter, somebody there, and I have a feeling it wasn't Ken, because this is just pissing in the wind, is doing all of these promoted posts about all of their other games. You know, please buy this. Well, you know, and they're like $1,000 off, $2,000 off. You know, come to IAPA and buy a game real cheap. You know, and then everybody who's into pinball, their whole social media feed is flooded with Toy Story 4 or what, like Avatar. Even after Jack already said don't buy these games, like they're wasting money. And the worst part is they're showing these games to people who already know about them. Like, why is that in my feed? And
It was constant, right? Like,
it was
constant on Instagram. Like
who the fuck doesn't know about these old ass games? And then here's the worst part. It gets worse. Can you believe it or not?
No, I can.
Their marketing guy leaves halfway through the launch, so that's a bad look. And then Harry Potter is announced. It's you know, you can pre-order it. We're still. I didn't get any sponsored posts for Harry Potter. I'm still looking at Toy Story 4 posts, all this other shit. And then Ralph comes in to save the day. I don't even think he got paid for this.
No, I did.
He starts doing promoted posts for Harry Potter.
Oh, no, I didn't get paid for that. Oh, you mean like
his
initially?
own account.
Wait, what do you mean, like post the launch or pre the launch?
I messaged you about it and how what a good job I thought you were doing the marketing for them. Like they owe you something. Like
So
you had sponsored posts about your featurette.
Well, so they didn't tell me to do that. I actually did it because I felt
you
like
knew they needed it because they were falling on their face with the marketing.
So I'll tell you this: that they did want me to make a Facebook post, but I said I went along. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I'm doing that anyway. So put like a bunch of keywords like, hey, get this out to Harry Potter groups, get this out to other pinball fans. So I did that part.
And that was great. And that was the first actual Harry Potter ad I got. Like
Really?
You know,
seriously? You had not gotten one prior to that?
No, because
that's crazy.
I saw Toy Story, Guns N' Roses. What's the other titles? You know, Avatar, Godfather. I think Godfather. I don't know, but I'm seeing everything but Harry Potter. I mean,
I will say this: when I was working, like when we were filming, Ken was still there, obviously, and when it, I think they all thought at Jersey Jack that this would be done before the end of May. Like it would be out because Ken was always marching towards, like he did tell me like, hey, I am resigning. I wanted to let you know. But he, in his mind, he's like, well, I'm going to be here for the launch and then I'm out. So, but the thing is, I think he had already like given his notice. So he just decided to stay on that timeline and then the delays kept happening. So I think for him, he's like, look, I'm going to just do my thing. And I think he had booked a vacation or something too, before he transitioned.
Totally. And I wasn't saying that was like, oh, that was a bad decision by Ken. I think that just the optics were bad. Like your marketing looks so bad, and then right in the middle of it, your marketing guy leaves.
That's true.
You know.
Do you think that here's one thing that's kind of weird? And Colin actually brought this up. This was I didn't get what Colin was trying to say. I needed to like use my Colin decoder ring. Sorry, Colin. But I think he was trying to say like, look, they haven't reached outside of the pinball universe. Like they haven't reached that audience because if you think about it, right, this is crazy. I went and looked to see how many views the Godfather featurette had. Now, I don't know how many fans there are of Godfather versus Harry Potter, but I would think that there's probably in current times more like millions of people that have watched are fans of Harry Potter. The Godfather featurette has a lot more views. It has double the views of my Harry Potter video. And that kind of fascinates me a little bit because I would view if you were to reach the right audience outside of pinball, I feel like that video should get a lot more than 20,000 views. Don't you
Yeah.
think?
Absolutely.
20,000 is a lot. I'm cool with 20,000, but I
Okay,
think
in
it should be like
pinball,
100,000 or 200,000.
100%. Yeah. What? Let's talk about that. What's going on?
I don't think anybody's trying to, because it's not my job. My reach is my reach. My YouTube channel is going to be mostly arcade and pinball people, right? And after that,
Right.
it doesn't have any, it can't go any further because the algorithm puts me in this bucket, right?
Right.
I'm surprised they haven't used their marketing firm to go say, hey, here's the video, here's our trailer, here's the featurette. Go push this to other audiences that are outside of pinball. Like, there's no way they've done that, because if
Right.
they did, it would be like hundreds of thousands of views, in my opinion. There's no way.
Right.
Right.
Well, like what Stern does when they kind of tap into the video gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. They tap into other places because the pinball community is going to know about the game. They're going to
Yeah,
search
of
out.
course. Yeah.
They know where to go to find. They know what outlets to find out about these games. Pinball has a big problem of reaching these other people. There's a really small population of people. Let's just talk about the United States that even knows pinball is still a thing.
Yeah.
What would you guys, here's a good question. I'm so curious about this, because we all know like what a piece of pinball content gets for views, right? What
Right.
do you guys think is like, in the perfect scenario where every pinball person gets access to this piece of content, what is that maximum number of people you can reach, you think? Like, that are truly interested to consume a piece of content about pinball. And let's say this is the biggest news ever in pinball. How many
Yeah.
views is that video going to get?
Are you just talking YouTube?
Yeah.
Let's just say like collectively everywhere, like all the
right.
different media outlets. Like, what should
No
that
more than 100,000. My over-under is I would say a good over-under would be 85. Tops.
And that even feels high to me.
So one football stadium.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It doesn't
You
even
think it's
fill
that
AT&T.
small? You
Yeah.
think we're that small? I mean, I agree with you.
I think
I
we're
think
a
this
pimple.
probably is that.
We're tiny, man. We're yeah.
That's crazy though, right? Kind of, because I feel like we're all friends with each other, so it feels like there's all this momentum, and
We're living in a bubble. But I see it. I see it every day at the arcade when people. Okay, I've said this over and over again. We are connected to a 50-year-old dive bar. So when people come to our place, you go to Yucca Tap Room, and that's how you enter Electric Bat Arcade.
Yeah.
And then you cut the corner, and it's like, holy shit, 65 pinball machines, a bunch of video games. I see it every single day. People walk in and go, what in the fuck is this?
like they can't believe it exists.
Yeah.
They can't believe. They're like, they're still making pinball machines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's crazy to me. I know, but like, it's just like, I don't know.
And I'm telling you, when I was at the Wormhole, we would do constant corporate rentals. That was the only thing that kept us afloat, right? And the corporate rentals, I would walk around and they could see my enthusiasm for the games, and I'm like, this one's made here in Houston, Labyrinth. This one is a 2023 machine. They said 23. Are
Yeah.
you serious?
You have to think about how this industry makes zero sense. Think about if you went on Shark Tank and you're like, I have an idea. I'm gonna manufacture a toy,
Yes.
right? That is made of wood, metal, glass, and plastic. And in this toy, you're going to be taking a solid steel ball bearing and shooting it at high velocities at all of these breakable parts. And get this machine is going to cost anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. Who's in, Sharks? No,
Hey,
they would
Cale,
laugh
I
you off
like
the
your
stage.
Cale, I like your presentation, but
Yeah.
this is a disaster. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
don't like the product, but I like you.
I don't like the
Well, we're gonna hire you to do
for that,
something.
I'm out.
Yeah, but we are really part of something incredibly, incredibly special. This is something that should not exist anymore. Video games should have killed this a long time ago, but because of a small group of dedicated people, we're here.
Right.
It's crazy. But also when you said that, when you just said the football stadium or whatever, it made me think about something that happens a lot. I know it's not really a show topic, but when someone says something inaccurate in our group, in our community, let's say the whole thing's a community, maybe inaccurate or just like totally misled, like they've never played a game, but it's a new game and they shit all over it.
Yeah.
That is like a virus in our community. It goes all over the place. So now all of a sudden half that stadium is like on the other side.
Yeah.
And it
It's not
literally
half
will
that
like
stadium,
keep,
though. It's not half that stadium.
no, it's not half, but it
it's the-
infiltrates a good amount of that stadium. And it
Yeah.
makes me wonder, like sometimes I know we don't have the sales figures, but I just wonder sometimes when something gets said that's just really negative about something. And we all know like, you know what? We've played it. Like, let's say someone like Kong got shit all over for stupid reasons. It was for like the artwork, right? Which is a totally subjective thing. But I think it was enough to turn certain people away from something like, oh man, everyone's saying it's bad, but they don't even read into why they said it was bad. And it could just be something stupid. And I just wonder, like, when someone does that and that happens, does it affect these guys' sales? Like, can a good game get destroyed by misinformation because our community is so small? Do you think so?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, it definitely has some kind of effect. I mean, I mean, let's just take specifics. The whole that dumb John Wick gun thing.
Yeah.
That, like, I talked to distributors who they're and this was somewhat politically motivated because of who's the little guy that's on YouTube waving the gun?
Stop.
What's his name?
No.
What is his name? Oh,
Okay, I'm
Hardy,
giving it to
Carrie Hardy. Like that affected sales because I talked to many distributors who their regular buyers were like, oh, I'm not doing that. You know, Stern's gone soft. So
Yeah, like it became almost like people were believing that Stern was trying to make some kind of like political statement, even though
Right,
we
it
know
was like
that's
Gun
not
Gate.
even remotely accurate.
Gungate.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
really. And why would you even think, like, no offense, I'm not meaning this to bash Carrie Hardy, but why would anyone think that any of these pinball companies want to make a political statement? They want to stay as far out of that as possible. They just want to create a game. They just want you to present
making
and create a
toys.
game.
They're making
That's-
toys.
Yeah, they're making
making
toys. Exactly.
toys,
There's no
man.
politics.
Toys.
yeah.
It's like that would be, if they even knowingly did that, that would be so bad for them business wise, you know? But it was just crazy. I never once thought to myself when I saw that game revealed that Stern was trying to make, I just kind of figured, well, there's probably some reason for it, which George Gomez explained. But yeah, it was just kind of crazy. That is unfortunate because I know that game doesn't get a lot of love. I think it's a brutal game. It's fast, but it's pretty fun. I don't love the code on it yet, but I do think the game is pretty fun. But yeah,
It's
it kind
too
of
hard.
it got killed.
Right.
It got killed.
I think it got
'cause it's too
killed.
hard.
You know, back on the topic, you know, these ideas hurting pinball sales. I mean, this is nothing new. I mean, there are certain people in this industry who are, you know, podcasters, YouTubers, whatever you want to call them, their personalities. They know where, you know, they know where the money is, and the money is in outrage. That's nothing new. The media's been doing this forever.
Right.
You know, you know, they're not going to, the revenue is not going to come in if they are just like if they talk about how awesome pinball is all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to have the outrage. They have to bring people in. Yeah, I thought that was fucked up too. Let's jump, you know.
Isn't it crazy though how many people will jump aboard that wagon though when it
They
does
love
happen?
it.
It's
They
nuts.
freaking love it, man.
They geek on it.
Yeah.
They geek on it. They geek on that negativity.
And weird stuff. And weird stuff. They'll come up with the weirdest thing to focus on. Like, I don't know why. I know I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but I don't really care because it's so stupid. The muted clips thing is so dumb.
I know.
It's so dumb. Like, I don't get it. They aren't all muted. That's the thing. And it's just a weird, like, I don't know. I don't pay that much. LCDs are great. I'm glad they're on modern games.
Yeah.
But if the game is good, I'm just focused on the gameplay part of it. You know, I almost view the LCD as complimentary. And every now and then I can look up at it if there's a moment. And usually it's gonna stop the game to give me that moment. You know what I mean? But I'm not looking at it like obsessing over the LCD. I'm trying to play the damn game. I don't
Dude,
know.
your
I just
best friend is all fired up about muted clips, man. I mean, you
but
talk
I
to
love
him all the time.
but I'll say this. But I do like really good theme integration. So like I look at Evil Dead and I'm like and Jaws and go, man, they
Yeah.
freaking nailed this shit. Like nailed it. Evil Dead blows me away how well they're like they just did between those two, like Jaws and Evil Dead in recent times. Those are such good theme integrated games. And so there is a way to do it where you can have the clips, have the real audio from them, and have it not seem weird or distracting. Because no part of Jaws, I don't know, what do you guys think? Like, it fits. Like every time they're showing me a video, it's integrated in what I'm doing. It's freaking
It totally
awesome.
does. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially
But-
Spooky. Again, we've said it before, and both of you said it on your own podcast. Spooky nailed Evil Dead, dude. Just nailed it.
They really did.
They
and
really
mine's
did.
thank God, mine's still good. No issues. No issues. So between us, I know yours is getting played a lot more than mine, but
And
mine's
it's-
been pretty rock solid. So
Zero issues. It's amazing. I hope they keep it up.
Yeah,
me
I don't
too.
know. I don't know what they changed. I think one of the main things they've changed, and I've talked about this on some podcasts. I don't know. I do so many. Who knows? But I think focusing on one machine, they cannot go back to. We have two machines, same machine. They're just rethemed. They can't do that. They can't. They have a small group, and they need to stay focused on one machine. And,
I agree with
and
you.
they proved it with Evil Dead. Our Looney Tunes is still all fucked up. It does weird shit. And I heard Texas Chainsaw was better because I think Ben Heck dealt with the software on that side, and then some other group dealt with Looney Tunes, and then they just kind of forgot about it. I guess I don't know, but yeah, that game's a disaster. But what they did here with Evil Dead, man, they hit it out of the park.
Yeah. No, agreed. I forgot where we were going with that. We were going somewhere
no,
with
we
this.
were just saying that.
Man, we're just talking.
we're just bullshitting.
I was like, wait, what?
No, what
I
we
feel
were-
like we got through like 1.5 topics.
No, I know we're going long. By the way,
Keep us
It's
on task, Jamie.
52
Come on,
minutes.
what are you
I'm
doing?
trying
man?
to keep you on task. I'm trying to keep both of
What
you.
are you doing?
It's like herding cats sometimes.
Well, that's true with these two,
Okay,
dude.
with
With us
these
two
two, with
and
you
you.
two.
I'm surprised we can even have a podcast. Period. Like, not.
Yeah.
It's
We'll
pretty
get
good.
canceled eventually. But Pinball keeping us in business. So thank you, Pinball, and your continued sponsorship and
Oh
support.
yeah,
Yeah,
I really appreciate them. There you go.
I got some in the package.
nice.
Actually, my lips are pretty chapped right now. This is a good ad
This is
break
good.
for Pinball.
Yeah.
Here we
That's some
go.
good ASMR.
There you go. There you
Oh
go.
man, and it's got a good scent, like you said, Jamie. It really does.
So we have 2 topics left if we have time, okay?
Let's do it. I'm here.
Yeah.
One
let's
topic
go.
is Cale and Rachel at the Electric Bat just got Dune.
Mm-hmm.
So we should talk about that. And the last one we wanted to talk about was Code and Jersey Jack's new
Game changer.
Game
feature.
Changer.
Game changer. Yeah.
So what do you want to tackle first?
Let's talk
You
about
wanna-
the game changer.
Okay.
Okay.
What did you say? What was your vote, Ralph?
Oh, I was game changer first too.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. All right.
That
So,
makes-
so should I lay the groundwork as to what this is?
Yeah,
Please.
please.
Okay, so going back to Cale's all right, going back to Cale's point on marketing, it's very weird to me that this feature is something they're launching with Harry Potter, but they did not talk about it at all. They're only talking about it on podcasts. So Jack and Eric have talked about it, but that's how people are, and they talked about it with it was Pinball News and I think like Gonzo and someone else. So that's weird to me because if this is something you're like new and you want to gain traction, it's weird that you're doing it that way and not having any kind of like public your own, like why are they not doing their own video content on it too, to say like this is what it is, this is what it does.
Right.
So basically it was this idea that I guess Jack had. Jack said the story on Pinball News. It was an idea that he had like 10 years ago, I guess through feedback that like customers that had kids would buy the game and they'd come back and go, oh man, my kids get discouraged because the games are so hard. And like, it'd be really cool if we could play together, but if the game was like slightly easier for my kid and as they build their skills. So that's what got him this idea that he would have a system where if I step up to a JJP game and I press start, I could have a QR code. If I'm shit at pinball, I could scan the easy QR code, and you guys are so much better than me. You could scan the wizard option, and you're going to get the hardest version of the game, and I'm going to get the easiest version. And for
So
instance,
dumb.
yeah. And for instance,
so dumb.
it could be something like this. Let's say you have to knock down this bank of drop targets twice to light the lock. Well, for you guys, you'll have to do that. And because I scanned the easy option, my lock's already lit. So I just got to shoot the ramp 3 times and I lock my 3 balls, whatever it is. That was the thought. Now, I'll give you my opinion real quick, and then we'll kick it all over to you guys.
It's dumb.
In an arcade setting, not really a fan of it. But I could see, like, here's the one instance where I would use this. When my family comes over, they don't play pinball. And I can see them get frustrated sometimes. My sister, I'd put this shit on easy, and I'd just be like, "Oh my gosh, you're so good!" I wouldn't even tell her I did it. I'd just be like, "Bloop," and she'd be like, "Oh my gosh, multi-ball!" Like, she'd freak out and think it's awesome. But that's also like a really edge case. Other than that, I don't know. I think for kids, I also feel like most kids, when their response time is so much better than us old guys. Like they figure out pinball fast. So I don't even know if the kid aspect really works. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I got to kick it over to you guys because I honestly I wanted to have an answer for this podcast, and I still feel like I'm conflicted on if this is a good thing or bad thing.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't give you that.
It doesn't like.
It just makes it easier.
Badges. There's nothing like Insider Connected.
No, that's all this does. All right, I didn't explain. In your coin box, there's a little there's 3. This is also kind of weird. There's 3 key fobs, and it's not really a key fob. It's like a piece. It's like a square thing with the QR code. So you either have to show that, or you can take a picture of it with your phone and do that. But all this does is sets global settings that Jersey Jack has thought make sense for easy, normal, and wizard. But this is not like a replacement for Scorebit or I was trying to figure that out through podcasts. It sounds like Jersey Jack decided when they absolved that or dissolved that relationship with Scorebit that they were going to do their own Insider Connected or something similar. But they are not giving any timelines as to when. So they're 2 separate things. This is strictly just to make your game easier. And that's
so this is for Aunt Betty that sucks at pinball. That's great.
I don't know. I guess.
This is Jack's idea of making the game more appealing to the public. And I first heard about this when, when I went there for Avatar, and he made that flippant statement about teaching people how to route pinball machines or make money with pinball machines.
What did he say that about? Who is he talking about?
Well, I was the only one in the room that operates pinball machines, so I don't know. Roll the dice, figure it out yourself. But and then I went on my podcast and I was like, man, this guy's such an asshole. When one of our viewers reached out to Jack and was like, "What?" and he said, "What do you mean by this? About what you said?" When Cale was in the boardroom there. He said, "Well, I would like to teach operators how to make the games easier so they would make more money." So this is, Jack said, that's not the issue. Jersey Jack games are incredibly easy. Like our players are not getting frustrated. And plus, and I know about these easy and mid and hard settings on Jersey Jacks, but their games, the ball times are so long, and I think it's by design. And you get a million multi-balls. They throw, it's like blah, it's everything at once. This is what's gonna. It is like a. People will say it's like a slot machine. It really is the slot machine mentality, like hitting dopamine, multi-ball, another one. And so, like you on easier settings, like you're going to see more and more of this. That creates fatigue, and that's something that Jersey Jack doesn't get. They're creating. Maybe it works at home. I don't know why this would be any different. But in a public setting, it just people got tired of playing the game because it was too much. It's too much lights. It's too much multi-balls. They're not great tournament games. There's so many other issues that make these not great games to operate, and it has nothing to do with their difficulty level. But
Yeah.
Jack really believes that it does. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to ask him on a podcast.
I think the home setting is weird. Like, I don't see this being an arcade. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand why you do this at an arcade. Because an arcade, I don't. At least maybe I'm just like jaded because I go to Electric Bat, right? Maybe I'm jaded because you guys have an incredibly like talented group of people that go there. You know what I mean? So the talent level's really high. But I can't imagine being like, hey, bro, hold on. I'm going to scan my Easy Pass real quick. Like, I don't. I just can't.
Right,
At
hold
home,
on.
I can totally see though if I had family over. I could see doing it for them.
But also, like, why does it need to be a QR code? Like, hold two flipper buttons in and change something, just like they do. Now you're going through a different process. Oh shit! I got to find my QR code, and I get nothing from it. I don't get a badge. I don't get, I don't get to save my score. I don't get to save my progress. All it does is like gives me, 10 seconds more ball save or something.
Yeah.
So
I think they should have probably, I don't know what this cost for them to do, but don't you think it would have made more sense to like release pieces of the score bit replacement versus this? Like, I think people would, that will get more mileage than this.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Because people love the achievements. People love the badges. People love the score tracking, all that stuff.
When I go to Eureka Heights or when I go to the Bat, I tend to gravitate more towards the Sterns when I'm playing for a few hours because I kind of get that dopamine when I get the achievement, right? When I look at the Bat and I go, all right, I want to get on the leaderboard before I leave this damn place, okay?
Are you guys not like... isn't the dopamine hit amazingly awesome when you bring in a new Stern game and it's like you're hearing that noise? I can't do it in the noise you get every time you get an achievement. I freaking love that.
It's freaking awesome.
It is freaking awesome.
It's cool.
And the only problem I have with Evil Dead is when I play it for an hour, I go, boy, this would be this much better if I got achievements.
Yes.
It would just be better.
I wonder if the reason why they haven't done it yet, I'm sure they want to. I think maybe because, like, Stern, obviously, they never disclose how much they spend on it. But, I mean, they've got all those servers in Amazon that they have to use to keep that running. And they really don't charge anybody for it. So I wonder if, like, that's the... Because I don't know what that cost is. It's got to be a decent cost.
It's got to cost a couple of bucks.
It's not just that. It's the coders.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The time to make the code.
You're taking coders away from a game.
Yeah.
So it's...
Yeah, so it's probably more of a resource thing, right? Like, these companies don't have the resources to even develop it, probably.
It just goes right back to how small pinball is, and we're lucky that it's here at all.
Yeah.
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 No, seriously. Anyway,
Well, what did you think about it, Jamie? What do you think about this whole game changer thing? Like, do you think it's kind of like it's noise?
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's total waste.
So you're saying it's not a game changer?
No. I mean, for Aunt Betty, once a year when she comes over, I'll flip it on. She won't even know, and it's going to take me 10 minutes to figure out this QR crap and boop-a-ding, but But it's a waste of time. God bless them, and I hope they didn't spend that much on it, and I hope that this is just a precursor to an insider connected type of situation. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. None of us will use this feature. And we probably have a bunch of friends that also would not use this feature.
Well, I have one. There's one guy that comes into town and plays pinball with us. And I could see, if we had a Harry Potter at the Bat and it was in a tournament, he would have that QR code, the easy one, like around his neck. So he could say, "Oh, I didn't mean to log in."
Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just kicking ass.
That one guy. There's always that one effing guy. All right. We're talking about Dune. My friends at Barrels of Fun delivered a Dune to you, sir. It has been on your floor for how long?
I don't know, like a couple of weeks. Help me out, Ralph.
No,
I'm
I think
time.
No, I really. It's only been like a week or so.
It's been a week.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long.
Yep.
How's it going?
Why do you look at me like that? Hey, let me. Okay, all right.
I'm the only one. By the way, I'm the only one here that hasn't played it. So
Really?
yeah, I haven't played it.
Yeah.
I was good. I'm
Oh,
good.
well,
Well, I don't know.
you play-
Depending on what Cale says, I may or may not play it. So we'll see.
gonna
Well,
play
you're coming to hang out tomorrow, right?
Yeah. I'll be down tomorrow.
We'll both play it. Now, I want to start out with the good stuff, and man, Johnny Crap knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
This game is stunning. And and I have to say that because I think it was us. We did some kind of podcast, and I was like, "Not another brown game. What is going on?"
Yeah,
with
we called
color?"
it Barrels of Brown, I think.
Right.
Yeah, but
And
that
then,
wasn't on the podcast. That was a dinner between ourselves.
Okay.
right. So after we dropped that, Johnny reached out to me, Johnny Crap, and he's like, "Hey, Cale." He's a sweet guy. Hey, Cale, just wanted to let you know I only did the plastics on Labyrinth. Kind of like saying, I understand color theory. That wasn't me. And we know he can do it. Look at Jurassic Park. I mean, he can make a game. Companies need to understand this. The art on a game is huge. That is the billboard that draws people into the game. And Johnny, what's his name? John Bergeron? Is that his real name? I think it is.
I introduced myself, and he said, "I'm Johnny Crap."
Okay, let's go
Wait,
with
are you
Johnny
saying
Crap.
that his last name isn't that?
No, it's not Crap.
No, I don't think
He
so.
made the crap part up.
Oh, because there's like
I
a
think he
dude.
added that later.
There's a dude that it's a customer of ours, and his last name is Craps. It's plural.
Oh,
Two
I've heard of
Not
crap.
one
I've
single
met-
craps, but two
I've
craps.
met some craps.
Like there are craps out there in the world.
Oh yeah, they're out there.
So anyhow,
All right, sorry.
Johnny Crap knocked it out of this game is gorgeous, and he absolutely understands color theory because he has the oranges and the teals, very popular movie posters. He gets it, and he shows you what's up in this beautiful game. Second, the light show. The light show isn't all there yet. There's a lot of stuff you can tell it's just not there yet. It hasn't been coded into the game, but just the atmospheric lighting, and that the row of LEDs they added that is in the cabinet, man, that makes a massive difference. It is really it sets the tone. It creates a different atmosphere depending on what type of voltage they're sending to these LEDs, right? All of that is amazing. The shots, holy crap! I think David Van Ness, did he do this layout? Is it
Van Ness and
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And I know Travis Mosman, I know Bill Grimaldi, and Bowen Cairns helped with a lot of the layout as well.
Yeah, it is really cool. The mechs, the ball paths, the way there are so many different ball paths is very creative and original. All of that, kudos. That's like A plus B. Nothing lower than a B on any of that stuff. The problem is the code. This game should not have left the factory the way they're shipping it. And I hate saying that because I want these guys to be very successful, but at the same time, I don't want to. If I see a storm over the horizon, I don't want to lie to people and tell them everything's okay. We're dealing with issues. Coils have burned up on us. Game, you can put tokens into the machine, quarters or tokens into the machine, and just nothing happens. It won't. The switch is working properly. It just doesn't register that there's a credit, so you cannot start the game. Flippers die. Just out of nowhere. The flippers just die. The game is in a game state, but the flippers just die.
Like if you were to touch anything, like if you whack the slingshots, like it would still be counting as points, but it's not. The flippers are dead.
Correct. I was able to plunge a ball, but the flippers are just dead. The display will just die mid-game. And like all of this stuff, here's what's up. I cannot recommend this game if you are an operator. If you've already put your deposit on it and you're going to have it at home, they're most likely going to fix all of this stuff. But this is all very similar stuff we used to see with Spooky. Oh, I mean, it's almost like verbatim. And I mean, these are ex-Spooky guys. So, I mean, it's genetics, right? The same problem is jumping from company to company. If you're pulling people from the company, like Spooky, but Spooky's doing well now. Just like, I raved about Evil Dead, but these are all the same kind of issues that you get hit with when, you only have like one guy coding, and he has to be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But but like it makes it really hard to recommend this game. Like if you want to buy this game, give it 6 months. Also another thing is we've always said this, our game at Electric Bat, our machines are on for almost 24 hours a day. I mean, there's like 3 hours that our machines are not on and not being played.
Do you guys have that all on like timer scale or?
Yeah, it's all on timers. We don't have to be there at 6 a.m. when we
So what
open.
time do they shut off?
They're on at 6 a.m. or a little before that.
Yeah.
And they turn off probably around like 3 a.m.
Oh, wow. So those things are getting like.
But they get played more than that, especially if it's a popular title. The staff will stay there and play it all night long after they've done their duties.
Right.
So some of these games are literally played, especially if it's a new game, they're played 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So we're going to see issues that that a homeowner is definitely not going to see.
Yeah.
And that other operators that do like humane hours, they're not going to see this kind of stuff.
So how has the customer service been? I mean, how have they reacted?
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
David Van Ness called or messaged me. I didn't give him my number, but he's like, I'm hearing that you're not having a great time with Dune. And I messaged him back, yeah, let's and I explained to him the only reason I didn't message him at first is just because I've dealt with this kind of stuff before, and I don't think anything can be done about it. This is just a case of where they had to, in any industry, when something like this happens and a company releases a game before it's ready, they need money, and I don't have any kind of insider information. Nobody's told me anything, but you see this in video games. Very very popular CD Projekt Red when they released Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
way before. And then you find out when the story comes out, it was because of the board. They wanted some cash to come in. This was the most talked about title in years, and they wanted to see the cash come in. So anytime this happens in any industry, when especially a company that has released a great product in the past, when you see them do something like this, there's trouble. There's blood in the water. And people start seeing it, start sensing it. So
you bring up a good point, though, Cale. It makes me wonder, like when we were out there for the Twippies and we did their tour for Barrels of Fun when they brought us over there, they were just wrapping up the last Labyrinths. Like that was the last run. So you got to think there's a lull between that and when they started production on this. And you brought up a good point. They got to keep the line moving. They got to keep those people employed. And maybe there was some like, hey, we can't really be without cash for this long. Let's just launch it. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's why. I mean, you're kind of making me like have a little bit of PTSD because I did buy a Labyrinth, and my Labyrinth was a game from Barrels of Fun, but my Labyrinth was like serial number like, or not. It was like Relic, they call them. Mine was like Relic number 3. So it was the third game they ever made. And I had to do so much to it to get it to play normal. And it was kind of like I was kind of talking to people like, hey, anybody know anything about the earlier days? And like, oh yeah, they resolved a bunch of stuff. And then I found this thread on Pinside, and it was all these things. And after I did it, it played great. But if you were like, if that was in your arcade, that'd be you guys tweaking the hell out of it in the beginning. And like, you need to be making money on it too. Like, you bought it to make money. They need money. But if it's off the floor, that's like, what can you do? That's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't know how you resolve it, but, you know, to me, it's kind of like if when you release a game in this state, you're screwing your customer base. You know, like whatever you have to do to keep the, you know, usually even companies will do this. They'll just get a loan, you know, and I know it's a huge risk. Get a loan. I have friends who own companies that do that. They'll get a loan to make payroll, and then they, you know, they make it up on the long end because they believe by the end of the year they're gonna make things right.
yeah.
But like, kind of like screwing your customers over is, to me, it's just rude. And I, you know, I have friends that are that work at Activision. I have friends that work at other companies that beta test games, but they get paid for it. You know, I'm having to pay for this with my time. I don't remember the last time I had to refund money like this to people. It's a headache, but hopefully they get it together. And if you want to see this company survive, you know, put your down payment on this thing. You know, as sort of you know, it's kind of good faith effort. But right now, I can't recommend it.
Oh, that breaks my heart. But, you know, I in the business world, I'm a recruiter, right? And so my product, unfortunately, is a person. So, but, you know, I always say in the sales world, Ralph probably knows this phrase as well. I mean, when things are great, it's easy. Don't judge me when things are great. Judge me when things are bad. Judge me how I react to those bad things. And that's what I'm hoping that they do, right? I'm hoping they said, okay, maybe a few of these Dunes that went out weren't ready, okay? And maybe we weren't ready for the code. And maybe we weren't, whatever the case may be. And that they rectify this, because it sounds like the customer service is excellent, and let's keep that going and make these fixes so that people can enjoy these games, because it is damn beautiful. And the mechs are awesome, and it needs to be perfect, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the customer service has been great. David, as soon as I called him back, he immediately picked up.
Yeah.
And he, that as soon as he got off the phone with me, he had a package sent to Electric Bat Arcade with new coils to replace the ones that burned up. And he said, put some other stuff in the package. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a reveal when I get it.
Oh, he didn't send it. He sent it. You haven't gotten it yet.
I haven't got. Yeah, this conversation just happened today.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But I believe, you know, I don't. They're great people, and I think they're just so far behind the eight ball that they're kind of in panic mode. And David Van Ness has said this, and I actually told him to stop saying this, but he's been on podcasts saying, you know, you have to remember, we're a small crew. We're a small crew. Who's the last person that used to go around the podcast and say that over and over? That was David Fix. And we know where he is now. You know, he kept telling people, hey, we're just a small crew. We're just a small crew. Work with us. That's okay if I'm not giving you, you know, $12,000.
Yeah, that
Right.
to me, if I'm the consumer and I hear that over and over again, and I know there's like some problems, I'm going to be like, man, I'm losing confidence that they don't even have the staff to support this thing. That's what I would say. And I'm not suggesting they like lie, but that's not something you need to constantly remind everybody. Just make it right. Appear larger than you are. You know, you just get it done for people, and then that won't matter. But
Yeah.
to keep reminding you, oh, I only have like 2 people here. I don't know if this dude's on vacation. We're screwed. Like,
No, this is this is an all hands on deck situation, and I think like David needs to stop traveling around and promoting this game, and he needs to get in the factory and make sure that when he is taking $12,000 from somebody, they're getting a game that's not going to catch on fire. You know, and here's the thing, nobody's talking about like modes or call outs or anything, which this game is pretty devoid of, that doesn't even matter. All I'm hearing from people at the arcade is how beautiful it is and how
Yeah.
they want to keep putting money in it because they think it's such a cool game. But
Yeah, it's got to work.
It's got to work.
Yeah.
Well, I hope, God, I really hope everything works out with it. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
they
know
have
you do too, because you're vested in it, right? You're vested. Your patrons love the machine. They're putting quarters in it. It's earning, right?
100%.
We just gotta. It's gotta work, and you know, thank God David reached out and making it happen.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
You reminded me with a comment you made about he should be on the factory floor checking the games. When I was out at Jersey Jack, and they'd only made like, I don't know, there was only like 15 of the games Harry Potter's made, and most of them were like prototypes or one, kind of like working out the kinks. And man, between Dan, the mechanical engineer, and Eric, they were like obsessed with each game. They were making sure they noticed, like, I watched him, like he was looking at one part of it was like the staircase mech, and then Dan and Eric went over to the station where they were putting it together. Like, hey guys, I kind of heard part of the conversation. They're like, hey guys, I just noticed you're like torquing this thing a little too much or whatever it was. And so he's like, this is going to be my life for the next 2 months as we make these, because I need to. He said this to me. He goes, I need to make sure, and Dan needs to make sure that they understand how this is built so that we avoid problems in the field. I mean, they were very serious about it. Like, he was in the zone, and I think that's what you have to do. You have to do that.
Right.
Just
Well,
like I'm sure Elwin, when Kong was out, he was probably obsessively on that line making sure these things are good.
Well, we saw that when we were at the Stern factory. Like,
Right.
Elwin,
They were
there was a
held up.
party. There was a party in the lobby. Everybody whose pinball was there, and Elwin is on the line
In the
checking
back.
these games.
Yeah.
You
He
know,
actually made a comment. Something like he didn't mean it it didn't. I'm gonna say it the way he said it, but he didn't say it. It's gonna sound like it's a jerky way, but that's not what it meant. I asked him. He showed us. Remember the one game that was on the floor, but the playfield was popped up. That was gonna be the first one that he certified.
yes.
And
Yeah.
I said, oh, is this one? What's up with this one? He's like, I love hanging out with you guys, but as soon as you're out of here, like, I got to start going through these games. Like, it was
Yes.
like, he's like, look, I'm not trying to be rude, but I got to get, like, if people are going to play these, like, I got to come back out here, which I
Right.
respected that he said that. It wasn't in a jerk way. He's like, love you guys, but this is what I got to do. It's my job. So,
100. Yep.
yep.
You got to get to your priorities right.
Well, I don't know what to say.
By the way, none of us are saying, like, I don't know. Maybe David's got someone at the factory, but if he did right now, then I don't think that we'd be seeing, because there's a couple other issues. I have a couple other friends that have this game, and they're experiencing similar things. Support is working with
Screens are
them.
falling out.
Yeah, support
Like
is
a
working with
basic
them, but
things.
it's gotta be right. Like, especially it's so critical because, like, imagine, like, I know Turner Pinball is a lot smaller organization than Barrels is, but because Barrels is making 1,000 games, Turner's trying to sell 100. But imagine if he released this Merlin's arcade game and it started having issues ever. He'd be dead. He'd be totally dead. So
Yeah.
they just got to recover from this really quickly, because I don't think they'll be dead. They just
No.
need to react
They need-
quickly
yeah,
and
I'm-
fix it.
There's still time to
Yep.
fix all this.
Well,
Yep.
I hate ending on this.
No, you know how I'm gonna end it? Cale.
How are you gonna end this?
Want to hear? You aren't, Cale. This
It is your show. That's right.
Yeah, Cale. Do you know what Jamie did during the Kong thing? So while we're at were you aware of this? I don't know if you were near us when this was happening.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so big deal. Kong launch. Everyone's hyped up. We just got there, so no one should be tired at this point. Everyone should have energy, right? We just got there. We're pumped up.
Yeah, we had breakfast. It was a lovely
Yeah.
breakfast.
We had food. We ate that beautiful breakfast
Yeah.
that the waitress made fun of me for not finishing.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's not part of the story. So we get in the room, and Elwin's doing this great job. We've got Jeremy Packer's over there. Gomez is over there. And Elwin's he's got the stage. He's telling us about the game. Cale, we're not even 10 minutes in. Hey, guys. Hey, Elwin.
I didn't
This is
say
great
anything.
information. This is great information, but Jamie's kind of tired right now, so I'm just gonna sit down over here at this table, kick back a little bit. You keep going though, like it's good info. Everyone, it's good. But I'm gonna take a nap. And
Yeah,
I
I took a
watched
load
Jamie. Jamie has this thing where he leaves his body. Like if you can see it on his face. So Jamie is now floating above Jamie's physical body.
Yeah.
And like Jamie, the body is just practically falling asleep.
Right.
I'm like, Jamie, what are you doing, man? He's like, this is just part of my process. I'm like, what?
No, I was doing fine. We're 15 minutes in. We're all standing. Okay. Seth's there. Gomez.
Everyone was there, by the way.
Everyone's
So-
there. Okay. And you start asking questions about Spike 2 versus Spike 3, and I can see myself leaving my body of disinterest.
Yeah, you left. You were
left.
gone. It
I
was like a ghost.
This is the most. I don't give a shit about Spike 2.
So I exhausted you, basically.
So
My
you did it.
questioning exhausted you, and you needed a nap from
I
my
was just
questioning.
Oh my God! How long are we going to stand here and have to listen to Spike 2.5? And what is this? This means nothing to us. We want to play the game. Let us
We gave
play
you
it.
everything, Jamie. We gave you caffeine. We gave you Diet Coke. You had Zyn. I don't know what else we could have given you. We had you perfectly prepped to handle this meeting with Elwin. And you
Once you ask those questions, and then all of a sudden everyone's on the Spike 2, my body just said, "It's over." Take a seat. Take a seat.
I just love it that I could see it. It was like, when someone sees something and they start getting pale and their expression's gone. It happened. I was like, "Hey, buddy, you all right?" I was like,
Yeah, I'm all right.
Jamie.
I'm just not with us
Jamie.
right now. Tell me when
I
it's
was like-
time to go play. Tell me when it's time to play. All right, I'll tell you a funny story. You ready? This is not
Let's go.
pinball related, okay? We'll end on this if we can.
No, we have to end on. You can end on this, but we have one more thing.
Oh,
We need to
all
do
right.
that rating thing. We need to do the rating thing, but that'll be the
So
ender.
we're just
Okay.
going to be a long pinball podcast. That's our stick. I'm in Chicago this weekend. Janine's grandmother and uncle had passed, and it was the celebration of life. Her uncle was elderly, and her grandmother was 100. So it was a nice celebration. All right, no worries. So Janine's parents, we visited. That's her mom's side. On her dad's side, we went to his house, and it was his dad and her two brothers and Janine. We had donuts, went out to breakfast, and then we came back to the house and we were watching the Cubs game. And I looked to the brothers, Cale, I swear to God, and I go, "Hey, do you guys mind if I go take a nap?" And
Love
like,
it.
have you ever slept at this house before ever?
no, I've never been to this house. This is a brand new. I've never been there. I haven't seen them in 2 years.
So wait, I didn't know you've never been to this house.
No,
You're
this
like, hey,
is
can
a
I
new
take a
house.
nap in your
They
house?
had an extra room. All right, I went to the restroom and I saw they had an extra room. So I
Yeah.
go to the brothers first because they're cool, and I said, "Do you think? And would you guys mind at all if I took a little nap?" And Janine is mortified at this point. And then her
Right.
dad, who's the sweetest person in the world, is like, "You want to go take a nap, Jamie? You go take a nap."
Yeah.
And so I went. I took an hour nap while they visited as a family, and then they woke me up, and then we left. And so
I think Ralph. I think the issue is like maybe Jamie is right on the cusp of that age where that's okay.
yeah, I'm 52.
You know,
I don't
right?
know.
I'm 52. So
But what did you
Pinball,
say? Were you
Grandpa
like, hey
needs a nap.
guys? Were you like, hey guys? I'm really enjoying myself, but I just want to nap out for a little while. Like, how do you even bring that up? Like,
I just said, I know my body. I got to drive to
Yeah.
O'Hare from the suburbs. I got to return the car. I got to wait on the plane. I can't sleep on planes. This is my window, guys. This is my window.
I need
So
to try this. Like, I want to try this with someone.
It just didn't occur to me, Ralph and Cale, that this was a bad thing that I was doing. Like, it just didn't occur to me. I just thought, hey, they're a family. They're together. I'm the fifth wheel. Let me just go sleep for a little bit. So then on the way home, on the way to O'Hare, I'm driving and I look at her. She's so sweet. And I go, hey, was that rude? She's like, a little bit. I think so. A little bit. And I was just-
I don't think it's rude.
right?
I mean, here's the thing: you listen
really
to your
don't.
you listen to your body, Jamie. That's,
I know.
you needed a nap.
I needed a nappy poo. And it really propelled me for the rest of the day. I had a good flight.
Yeah.
Everything else worked out. So I want to thank Terry O'Neill for letting me sleep. I didn't go under the covers. Let me let you know that. Okay? I
okay.
slept on top of the comforter,
Okay.
and I grabbed a pillow from an extra pillow, and I put it on top.
Yeah.
Totally acceptable, I say.
I applaud you for doing this because you don't know how many times I'm having a conversation with somebody and I would love to say, hey, you mind if I go take a nap?
Hey, listen. My body is telling me that I got to
You're
go.
amazing.
My body's telling me, and I listen to it. That's how I've gotten to 52 years. My body says it's over. I got to go take a nap. So I love you. I'm going to take one. Thanks so much. You guys keep talking. And that's what we did. So, all right, we got one more topic.
I'm going to introduce this concept in my life somehow. I'm going to find a way.
But, we have another topic.
So you asked me, Jamie, you said, how would you rate Harry Potter? You asked me, and then it kind of got, we were having a phone conversation. Then it kind of got into like, all right, well, what games do you want me to rate it against? And you were like, Evil Dead, Kong, Harry Potter, D&D, because I have all those.
That's
But
right.
I don't have Harry Potter yet, but I will. Yeah. So he was like, rate them. And I was like, because I do stand by. So I'm going to give you my ratings. So that's and everyone's going to go through and have to give their rating. And I know that you guys haven't played Harry Potter. I know, but so do you want mine and then you don't care, or what do you?
Let's see where it goes. Let's get yours. Though. I definitely want to hear yours.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna list them.
Don't start first.
Oh, you want what?
I want to go 5. Do it like Rachel. Rachel.
Oh, reverse order.
Teaches us how to do this. Okay, don't we listen to the number 1 podcast? Okay, she's the best. She's taught you how to do this. Come on.
I got it. So I'm going to probably shock people with the list, but this is the current list based on the current state of everything, right? So current code, current everything.
All right.
So my last on the list right now, which is shocking probably to you, is D&D. The next one on the list, again, current code level where it is right now and how much fun I'm having with the game, is Kong.
Okay.
Then Potter. and again, current code. Because who knows, those could flip-flop. Kong could overcome Potter really easily. And then it's Evil Dead. So Evil Dead is my number 1. In my game lineup right now, Evil Dead is still my number 1. But if I go based on current games that I have in my collection, then it'd go Evil Dead, Kong, D&D. Because Potter doesn't exist yet, technically, in my collection.
And are you just talking code? What's going on?
Just my enjoyment of the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we can only use those games?
Yeah, because Eureka Heights has those as well. So let's say between D&D, Kong.
Well, then why don't we leave Potter out of it for now? Why is it just Evil Dead, Kong, D&D?
It's not fair to rate Potter if we've never played it.
That's fair.
Okay. Then Evil Dead, Kong, D&D. You have to put them in an
like
order.
Other hosts that just muted clips. So, okay, what are yours, Cale? Out of those 4,
3.
Rank them.
It's only 3, right?
Yeah,
3.
Evil Dead, Kong, and D&D. Those are the games.
D&D.
Rating. Okay, so it'd be 3, 2, 1. This is, you're going to be surprised probably. Number 3 is Evil Dead.
Okay.
Did I surprise you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be surprised what your
I'm
number
not
1 is.
surprised because I think I know your order.
Yeah.
Number 2 is King Kong. And drum roll.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dude,
you love it.
You did surprise me. I thought you were going to go Kong number 1 and D&D 2. You did D&D number 1.
Yeah, and I'm biased because it's the one we have at the house and we're spending the most time with. Man, D&D is freaking amazing.
It is great.
Holy crap. Like Rachel and I are sitting at home playing this game and we're just like blown away. It really feels like we're on an adventure. And there's so much to do. Yes, there are some little glitches in the most recent game code. This thing is far from complete, but it functions, it works. I mean, when you see what this thing does, we have the dragon that moves around, all the gelatinous cube, like all this stuff. I mean, it is amazing. It just like it really shows you that like Stern is cruising the interstate in a Ferrari with the top down, and like everybody else is riding a donkey.
Oh boy.
It is just, I mean, these guys
Oh, boy.
know how to make a
No, they
fucking
do.
pinball machine.
They do.
No, it's true.
There's no
It's true.
question.
And
I
Evil
mean-
Dead, as much as I rave about Evil Dead, there's this magic that Stern has. And I think it just comes from doing this for so much longer than everybody else, that they just, from the top down, the feel, the you wanting to put another quarter in, like no manufacturer comes close.
You made me think of something that so when my buddy Rudy came over last night and we were playing a bunch of games, we played Evil Dead, we played Kong, we played Avatar, and I did ask him this question. I was like, hey, because he's like, man, he said something similar to what you just said. We were on Kong and he's like, man, there's just something about like Stern games, and I'm like, I know where he's going with this, and I'm like, what is it? He's like, I don't know, man. It just seems like he's like the whole format and presentation. He's like, it's consistent from games of what I'm gonna expect, and he's like, and that it feels right to me. Like he's like, it feels. This is his words. He's like, it feels complete to me.
Yes.
And he said the presentation of it feels like what's the word I'm looking for? What's when you have something and it's just easy to use.
professional.
What is that called? That term? Like when something's easy to use, it's like intuitive.
Oh,
He's
intuitive.
Oh,
like
look at
it's
you.
intuitive to me.
Yes.
And then I go, all right, what else? He's like, and the other thing I can't get over, and Cale, you've talked about this for so many times on so many podcasts, and I agree with you. He's like, when I hit the fucking, he said fucking, he's like, when I hit the fucking button, the flipper feels like it's going off when I hit it. He's
Yeah.
like, he's like zero latency. He's like, there probably is latency, but my brain doesn't pick up on it.
Yep.
It's just boom. He's like that and the power. And he goes, and that's what I go. And then I had a little bit of a like tried to counter argue with him. I'm like, but what if Jersey Jacks wanted them to be like that? He's like, well, then he's like, I don't know what to tell you. He goes, but that I can't get used to that. He's like, so he thinks that anything prior to, I'm not going to get into this because Jamie will leave his body, but there is a reason why the newer Jersey Jacks are more snappy. I'm not going to get into why, but he's like, I'm cool with the ones pre, whatever the date is, but he's like, anything backdated, he's like, they just don't feel right to me. And I can't, I get it though. I get what he's talking about.
All right, here's mine. You ready?
Sorry, just like, I was like,
Jesus
hold on.
Christ,
Let me just
boys.
tell you a bunch of shit.
Oh my God. It is
All right,
his
so the
podcast.
driver board,
It
there's
is-
these
it
two
is-
capacitors on the
it
driver
is-
board.
I know.
All right,
I
sorry.
left my body.
Yeah.
I was floating above my head.
Hold up. No, we got to, you can't just go over that. I don't know, because that is why their flippers are more powerful. Like,
Yeah, so on the
why does
IO
Jamie
driver
have
board-
a problem with it?
I'll say it fast so Jamie doesn't leave his body. On the IO driver board on the Jersey Jack, that big board on the back,
Yes.
there's 4 capacitors.
Correct.
On the older one, they're all the same size. I don't know, remember how many. I don't remember the
Right.
value of them. But on the newer driver boards, the top 2 are much larger, and those control the power to the solenoids and the coils for the flippers. So it just gives them more power. That's really all it is. And there's kits you can
Correct.
buy to back rev your old ones that Jersey Jack doesn't sell. It's like some
Right.
third party guy sells it. It's called
Listen,
like
do you guys
JJP.
mind if I take a nap for a little bit?
Dude, you
No,
don't,
go ahead.
get even remotely excited about
We'll
this.
keep
Like a
going.
little bit.
So the first
okay.
game to leave Jersey Jack with this updated board was Elton John, correct?
Yes.
No.
No?
No, it was. Hold on, I'll pull it. I got it really, really fast because I was just doing research on it. I was almost going to do a video on it, and I didn't.
It wasn't Godfather. It had to have
Godfather
been-
had it.
No, it did not.
They said it did. Hold on.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Oh, I'll tell you real quick because if you look at the part number,
Keep saying real quick.
I don't know. No, I got it. Okay, so the games that did not have the updated driver board, so those flippers should feel crappy, is Guns N' Roses, Willy Wonka, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dialed In, Hobbit. The ones that did have it supposedly was Toy Story 4, Godfather, Elton John, and Avatar. Now. Some could have left the factory potentially without it, but Godfather, if you look at the direct replacement for the Godfather board, it is the new board with the 2 bigger caps.
Where are you getting this information from? I don't think Toy Story 4 had the upgraded
Says
board?
it does, but the thing
what
is,
it
it's,
is.
Who's it says it does? Where are you getting this from?
it's on Pinball Life. It's like their
Oh, okay.
But I can check Marco for the same part to see if they say the same thing. But so I'm basically looking up what is the direct replacement for the IO driver board with the new one, and the ones that are not direct is like Guns N' Roses, Willy Wonka, Pirates, Dialed In, Hobbit. Those have the old part number. You can put them in there to upgrade them, or you can go with there's this dude called Flip Mods.
Yeah.
If you go to his site, he tells you basically says JJP recently released this is old info
Oh,
now.
great. I was
JJP
reading.
recently released an IO driver board that has been used in recent games, including Toy Story 4, Godfather, and Elton John. And it says the board's almost identical, except for the capacitors at C701 and 702, and blah, blah, blah. And it gives you the tech specs. So it does claim that Godfather had it, and same with Toy Story 4.
Who knows? Hey, chat, let us know.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll let you know.
I swear, I thought like they started doing that when Steve Ritchie was designing Elton John.
Yeah, that's
because
what
he
I
complained-
thought.
because-
That's what I thought too,
because
but
he
then I started
complained
doing the
about
research.
flippers.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now they might have done some code things too, right? They might have had those big caps, but maybe it didn't make a difference because the code wasn't adequately. I don't
Right.
know. That could be. That could
And
be
did you
the case.
guys hear? I also heard that that board was not used in Avatar because it was actually designed before Elton John, and they didn't want to. You
Yeah,
know,
that's the same rumor that I
think
heard.
that's a rumor though, because my board in my Avatar has the
You
two
checked
large
it.
caps.
Okay, you
it has
checked
it.
All right.
Okay.
And it feels decent, but then if you go play Stern right next to it, it screws y'all up because Stern is just more
Stern's so good,
just
bro.
snappy.
Just buy a Stern, man.
Bunch of shills.
If you don't want any problems, just buy a damn
You're
Stern. You'll
shills.
have so much fun with them,
You're
man.
both shills. All right.
Stern's
I
not
didn't
paying
say
me.
it. Why am I the shit? I didn't say
I
it.
don't know. I just want to call you shills.
Now they're gonna clip it, and I'm gonna have to hear all this
Yeah,
bullshit. Then I'm gonna
fine.
call you up, Jamie. What was saying?
All right. My three, you idiots.
Oh, I
Is,
forgot we're doing this.
yeah, real quick, and then I'm ending it. Is
back in your body?
Okay.
I go Kong, D&D, Evil Dead as
Kong.
the most
Wait.
I'm playing.
Wait,
wow.
what order did you do that in?
Kong is third,
Okay.
then D&D, then Evil Dead. I'm
Okay.
playing the most Evil Dead right now. And if they would just have an insider connected, I would be playing it like a lunatic.
Yeah.
Even more.
We haven't talked about how awesome Kong is, but I think we're gonna have to save that for another
We're gonna
episode.
have
'cause
to.
You're ready to
Kong
take
is
a
Quick,
nap.
we could do a quick round the horn.
No.
No? Come on, man. We could do a quick round the horn. People will listen to an hour and a half of us.
It's almost 2. We're going to point 2. We're going to be at 2 hours.
Yeah, two's pushing it. I just made fun of someone for doing a 2-hour podcast. If we do it, then I'm making fun of us.
See.
No, it's like a reverso.
Oh, so it doesn't. Oh, if we're doing it, it's cool. If they're doing it, it's not cool.
Well, we're
I get
only,
it.
See, we're only
I get
do this
it.
once a month, though. So I mean, it is. You could pace it out. You could do 2 long walks
Give the
while you're
people
having
what they
this
want,
podcast.
Jamie.
Yeah.
It's a pretty damn long walk. Yeah. Well, you should always listen on 1.5 anyway. Don't listen on 1.0. If that's a rookie move, a podcast listener, you got to listen on
can't do it.
1.5.
Do you want to
speed.
talk about Kong then, just real quick?
I've heard your tip about speeding up the podcast. I couldn't do it because people sound weird.
Yeah, they sound better. I sound so good at 1.5. I really like it. I really like the way I sound at 1.5. 2.0, I'm a lunatic. I sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
But 1.5, all the ums and oohs are just smooth and quick,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
Orbiter Albert today, he was in a tub. I was listening to him in a
Are you
tub.
kidding? He was in a bathtub?
He was in a bathtub today.
Man, I love that guy.
But on 1.5,
So we're gonna talk about Kong? This is me on 1.5. What's going on, guys? Oh my gosh, that shot, the helix shot, is badass, bro. Love that helix shot.
All right.
how did you do that?
That was a
You
good.
have it on yours too.
Oh, I don't know how to do any of that shit.
All right, whatever. YOLO box 201, 301.
Yeah.
Oh, was that what? That was a yellow box?
No, it's
No,
just
no,
Jamie
no, no,
knows how to.
no.
Jamie doesn't even talk to me anymore about YOLO box because apparently he's like part of the like development team over at YOLO box now. So
He took too long to answer my questions, so I just spent all night
well,
trying to
because you're
figure
like,
it out.
can you hook the YOLO box up to like Mr. Fusion and feed it garbage to power it instead of plutonium? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, what are you even talking about?
Who's that? That was Cale. All right, we've lost control. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. What?
No, do we have something else?
I thought you wanted to give the people a little bit of Kong. No.
I mean, Kong is great. I like the
I
upper
can see it on your
ramp.
face. It's fine. He's ready for a nap, Cale.
He's
We gotta go.
fine.
We'll do it
I'm done.
next episode.
Kong's awesome. We'll talk about
Kong
it
is
next
good.
time.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
it makes the top 3. I play the shit out of Kong. Okay, I'm just saying. I play a lot more D&D, and then I play a hell of a lot of Evil Dead because I really like it. And congrats to them. Well, we're probably going to get in trouble again. No worries. Seems to be par for course for this
What we do.
threesome.
I don't think we did anything bad.
No. Not
Did
at
we?
all.
I don't think so.
No. I think we'll be fine. And, you know, I think everything is great. God bless Pinball, and God bless you both. Where can we follow you, Ralph, with your multiple channels?
Retro Ralph on YouTube, or my Flipside podcast, which is on a channel on YouTube called Retro Ralph Live. It's also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you just type in the Flipside with Retro Ralph, you'll find it.
And, of course, Cale Hernandez at the Electric Bat with his beautiful wife, Rachel. And
Yeah.
they have the Electric Bat cast. And then, of course, the best arcade in America at the Electric Bat in Tempe,
Yeah.
Arizona.
And don't forget, twitch.tv/Electric Bat Arcade. You can watch some of our past streams. A lot of fun. Excuse me. It's a lot of fun. And we have the pinball savant, Surge, commentating most of
You
those.
really do. If Serge could move to Houston and be on my new stream that I'm going to start in July, I would steal him in 2 seconds.
Sure. He can
He
work
is-
remotely.
He is a genius. And if you're not checking out the Electric Bat on Twitch, you're making a mistake because it really is good. All right, boys, that's all she wrote. Anything
Jimmy,
I'll
else?
see
take a
you
nap.
next time. Who's got the next episode?
I do.
Back to you?
Back to
All right,
me.
better make it good.
Ralph made a banger episode.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
He had a good outline, and we tried to keep it moving as much as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So
right.
God bless you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. The support on the JBS show for this, not only my shows, but for the Roundtable has just been fantastic. Thousands and thousands of downloads, and it's just been unbelievable, boys. And I thank you so much for coming into this podcast adventure with me. I appreciate it, bros.
Thank you. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. I love these two clowns.
We have a hard time saying bye, huh?
I know we do. We do when we talk on the phone, too.
Let's
It's
do
just
the
impossible.
Kong thing. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we gotta
No.
go. We gotta go.
All right,
Let's
gotta
get
go.
out of here. Jamie's
Bye.
got a nap.
Good night. Goodbye.
Thank you.